Hey everybody, how we doing?
Morning, everybody.
Joe here.
Kevin.
By the way, guys, thank you so much for the nice Patreon comments we received on Christmas. We really
Yeah, that was
appreciate
actually
those.
really nice.
It was really very sweet. But Mad Men season 5, about halfway through the season,
Yeah, I think so.
and the last episode we had that great moment. One, amazing visual storytelling in that episode,
Sure.
all around.
Yeah, Don's fever dream
Yes,
about cheating on Megan and then killing the woman afterwards,
yes,
and then just going back to bed.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
there's a lot going on under the surface with him. He's not secure in his marriage with Megan at all.
mhm,
I feel like he's wondering if he did the right thing by marrying her at all because she's not Betty,
yeah,
even though Don's an idiot and she is absolutely wonderful.
sure.
And underneath the cracks, the same problems are there.
It's almost
Megan
like
called him out on it too.
it's like she did. It's like his decisions are catching up with him almost.
Yeah,
And in the last episode, I mistakenly there was a shot where she puts her thumb in his mouth, and I was like, "Oh, is it like the temptation coming back inside of him?" And somebody on Patreon pointed out it's him killing that temptation,
right.
which we'll see if it lasts. I don't think it's gonna.
I don't see how he fundamentally changes, especially the way this season started. Like if he has hit the ground running of I am going to be a good husband.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
And he's more thoughtful of her. And instead it's like, why aren't you more like my ex-wife?
Yeah.
We've had some of that. So it's like, well, this guy hasn't learned anything.
It's bored. It's not. It's not. I don't want to say it's abusive, but it's emotionally abusive. I feel like
A little bit, right?
He's quite mean to her after she's been lovely. She's been very nice to him.
She's been
amazing
great.
wife.
She's very insightful.
Yeah.
I think it's pure gaslighting.
That's what
You
it
know
is.
what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you're not doing what a wife needs to do. You don't understand what a wife's supposed to be. Well, you don't really have. You've never understood what a husband's supposed to be, and I love the fact that she
Ever.
called him out. Like,
Yeah.
you were cheating on Betty. Well, I was miserable with Betty. That's why. Yeah, but you were still doing the same stuff after Betty. You were still sleeping around after Betty. When did you all of a sudden learn that this was wrong?
She's not guilt free in that because obviously he wasn't married to Faye, but she did cheat, help him cheat. When he was with her.
Did she know though that they were together?
I thought they did.
I don't think it was ever a thing.
Maybe
Yeah.
they did. She was the secretary and she was taking a lot of calls for her. And obviously, they
Yeah,
had a
but
lot of meetings in his office.
yeah, but they
she
hid it
was
though.
technically they did hide it pretty well. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the whole point was them to hide. I mean, Pete didn't find out until it was about done. You know,
True.
so I don't think Megan knew. I think Dawn wanted it to be a secret.
Yeah.
Um,
Because that was his style before then. I mean,
right.
he kept the office separate until last season, and now it's really blown up.
He's done for a guy that started off like I'm cool and keep it all together. And one of the ways
Keep it out of the office.
I do that is keep it out of the office. And it's like, well, you got drunk and slept with one secretary who quit. Then you slept with your next secretary after she died. You slept with the next one.
I do think it is interesting that even the women he's been with outside the office are coming back,
Right.
and it's I mean New York City's huge, but at the same time where he is, it's kind of a small area, and so
It is. It's just the Upper West Side rich part of
Yes.
town for sure.
And he's
It's a
gonna be
small.
bumping into
It's a
people.
small. Yeah.
he bumped into Midge last season,
Right.
bumped into the lady
Well,
in the last
no,
episode.
Midge found him.
She found him.
She went and looked for it. She hunted him
still,
down.
But
Right.
still, like he's seeing people that he has had relationships with. He even saw
Right.
Mencken in I think it was like season 2, season 3.
Yeah, it bumped into a restaurant.
But it's like these things have consequences. That's the
For
point,
sure.
Like it's going to come back, and it's not just going to go away.
Right.
I mean, these people don't just disappear out of thin air. And Megan is catching on to that, and I think Don is also kind of catching up to it. I don't know if it's a guilt thing that's what caused the fever dream, or if it is purely just his own psychosis being like, am I happy? Obviously, he's
Right.
not happy, but at the same time, he's got a lot of demons.
No, he does. And my kind of thing with that last episode was wondering if um Megan wasn't in the elevator with him when that girl came in and came on, what would his reaction have been? Because
Well,
the way it was, and the way he talked to her in the dream when she came to fakely came to his apartment was, if my wife catches you, it's going to be bad. If my wife catches you, not like I can't do this, it's morally wrong, I'm happily married.
Yeah.
It's if my wife catches you.
In the dream, he gives in too.
And in the dream, he gives in.
Before killing her, obviously.
Before killing,
But still,
before right.
It's almost like too little, too late.
Yeah, it's hard to say where his head is. All I know is it's hard for people to change who they fundamentally are. and Don,
Especially at 40.
right. I mean, you have to give Don a little bit of credit. He did have a horror show of an origin story as a child. It's easy to sit here and be like, well, this guy kind of sucks in his personal life. Yeah, because he was hardwired
Well, yeah.
for his personal life to be just a crap show, right?
Firsthand, his experience of fatherhood is, an alcoholic.
Yeah,
He didn't have a father.
he didn't have a mother or a father.
Exactly.
He was raised by a woman who didn't want him.
Yeah.
And
I'm glad we got the brief snippets of flashbacks in
Right.
earlier seasons, but it is interesting when you juxtapose that with his kids growing
Right.
up in their household with Betty and Don, and even
Sure.
Henry. It's just interesting stuff. It's
Yeah,
really
and I hope we get more. I hope we're not done with
too.
Dawn flashbacks. I think that there's still more to unpack. I think the farthest we've gotten along is his dad dying.
Mhm.
I would like to see a little bit of what his life was like with his adopted mother who didn't want him. You know what I mean?
When he's getting like the teenage years.
Yeah. When he get past that, because I mean, I think how he was formed is what he's formed. I mean, he is a great anti-hero.
Yes.
And his hero origin story is pure tragedy,
Pure trauma.
It is, and so you get why he's someone who wants to always run away from his problems.
I think as the kids get older on the show, his kids, we'll see more of his like teenage years. I think
When he's kind of juxtaposed against
he's kind of Godfather to it a little bit.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
Right. We do want to go ahead and welcome Jeremy Dion, Anna Botham, Stephen Huzik, Maria, Holly Paul Glacier, sorry, Chris Warner, REB, and Callie Pampok. I'm sorry for those I got wrong on pronunciation. I know it was probably most of them. But thank you for being here with us on our Patreon, guys. We really do appreciate you.
We absolutely do. And if you guys are watching us on YouTube for the first time, welcome to our channel.
Okay.
If you'd mind hit the like button for us, leave us a comment down below, and please hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all the new content we've coming your way.
If you'd like to see a full-length reaction to this and everything else we've watched or watching, please check out a link in the description of our Patreon page. You'll find full length of all kinds of stuff. You'll need to sync and watch along on your own device or streaming service. But once you're there, if you're on YouTube right now, you can catch the next 4 episodes of Mad Men just by jumping over to our Patreon.
Yeah.
You'll need to sync and watch along. Like I said, we're also watching 30 Rock right now as a Patreon exclusive
show.
It is. For those of you on Patreon, welcome back, guys. Hope you had a good holiday. We're going to go and start episode 5 here in 3, 2, 1.
Oh, Pete.
Oh, he looks so creepy.
He does look creepy, doesn't he?
That was a creepy look on his face right there.
I like the actor who plays Pete so much. It's kind of a shame he hasn't been in more stuff.
I wish he would. He's got some real skill, but I mean, to be able to play the straight man plus the comedy that he brings sometimes.
He's so funny. And a boy. Well. All right, yeah. Good job, Pete.
Maybe. He's gonna get up and his whole house is gonna be flooded.
I'd be happy if you just pretend to have a good time.
Then, pretend I shall.
Do something nice for your wife, man. That's a good cut.
Yeah.
I dare say my blood's running now. Good day to be an Englishman. I don't know if I caught it.
Okay, yeah, he seems to be having a good time.
Anyway, I've begun a bit of a friendship with Edwin Baker, Senior Vice President of Public Relations for Jaguar Cars Incorporated.
Oh, wow.
They're looking for a new agency to break them into the American market. Dinner is set. Yowza. Spectacular.
I want one.
Yeah, car company. Yeah,
Jaguar, too, yeah.
My lordy. New business. Not here, sir.
he's very angry with them. Yeah.
I relate to one another on matters both business and personal. Englishman to Englishman.
Do you think he's going to blow it?
I think he should take Dawn.
I think he should bring somebody for sure. I mean, we haven't really seen him on his own like this.
We've never seen him pitching clients in any way.
Yeah.
This Saturday, I think we're going away.
I doubt that. Trudy will only act on a certainty.
Okay. Thank you.
The ladies have been speaking behind your back, Dawn, and you're going to dinner.
Take the invite.
You know, I write stories.
You're still doing that?
Well, I decided to fly under the radar. I have a nom de plume.
Nice.
I'm into taking the best 20 and turning them into a collection.
20?
Wow.
What is it?
It's between fantasy and science fiction. Robots and planets and things. There's whole magazines.
That's awesome.
It is actually.
Ken wrote Dune.
Fine, it's Ben Hargrove.
And Hargrove, that's funny.
Bronx? My family donated some of that
Really?
generations ago. We should go some Sunday soon.
She's in high school.
Yeah.
We should go back in.
Don't want to miss the mayhem.
He was doing so good for so long too, you know.
Well, that's the thing is I don't think he cares how that she's a lot younger than him. I just think it's as like anything except Trudy. You know what I mean? I think he's there of kind of like Dawn. I just need anything else.
Yeah. We talked about that. Don's becoming Roger. He's becoming Don.
Right.
I keep expecting to open the doors and see a tiny orchestra in there.
That would be amazing.
He's got ideas.
You have a lovely home.
You haven't seen it.
I love those coats, man. They're so sick.
I do too. Yeah.
Yeah.
That just screams rich guy in 1960, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Look, I'm not going to pretend it's not a big deal to us that you came out.
Oh, come on. Overdue.
He's selling it now.
Yeah.
He doesn't mean it, but he's selling it
Yeah.
now.
Then I suppose you must miss it. You must have some melancholy. No, it's just how I associate.
He's gonna blow this.
Yeah, he's blowing it.
I'll be honest with you, Lane. I haven't a complaint in the world. Well, that's too bad, isn't it?
Roger here's so bad.
Yeah.
I don't miss walking to an outhouse in the middle of winter.
Well,
Not
it's
bad,
more
man.
civilized than that. But there are a lot of varmints.
You should bring that rifle home.
You still have that? There'll be no gun in this house. I never liked them, and
That's one.
Trouble in Paradise. We're back to the
Yeah.
mentioning the gun again.
gun, yeah.
Yep.
you know, Kenny predicted it. He wrote a story that was exactly like that.
Don't, Cynthia.
Cynthia. What?
That's her name.
That's her name.
Honey, they don't want to talk
That's
about
funny.
that.
Why not?
She doesn't know that he doesn't talk about his. Yeah.
Forget it.
No, we want to know.
It's called The Punishment of X4.
It's because it's sci-fi. That's
Yeah.
Planets, and thousands of humans travel on it every day.
Oh my god.
And
I feel so
so-
bad for Ken. This is not what he wants to share.
The bridge. And one day he removes a bolt and the bridge collapses and everyone dies.
It's an allegory.
Yeah.
It's not. It's an allegory.
How's he doing? Because he's a robot. Those people tell him what to do, and he doesn't have the power to make any decisions, except he can decide whether that bolt's on or off.
Still having too much fun for coffee.
This is like a weird tension. You know what I mean?
Yeah. These aren't people who would hang out if
No.
they didn't, if their wives didn't make
Yeah.
them. Yeah. Oh.
I turned it on and it just blew in my face.
We made that joke earlier.
Is Don gonna have to be the actual man to fix this? Is that what we're
Maybe.
doing here?
Yeah.
A little more insecurity for Pete coming here
Yeah.
in the form of Don Draper.
I love how they're all like,
The
"Oh."
baby's up. Yeah.
He turned the sink off.
Ends up in his shirt sleeves too. Like just another reminder for Pete that he's not Don.
Yeah. He's not.
Right. He gets the applause.
Yeah.
He can still go through the toolbox.
Put in the dryer.
Supposed to say something about that baby? Look at her.
What an angel.
No.
He's cute.
I take no credit for her at all.
That's sweet.
It is.
He's actually smiling. Okay.
Yeah.
That's not what I told you to do.
Lane, I think Roger and I, and probably Don, should take your friend out to a dinner which is strictly business. Ask all the rough questions.
I think that's fair at this point.
Yeah.
If he's got to like redo it.
You wouldn't want to hit a golf ball off the tee when you could hit it from the green.
We need you to stay a pure friend. Practice your putting.
I agree with
That's
that. That's what Pete
genius,
just said. Yeah. Stay his friend.
I think Lane wants to accomplish this for him.
He wanted. Yeah, he wanted to do it all on.
That's kind of been his character. Is he wants to accomplish something.
I'm sorry. Your name is Handsome?
No, my name is Hanson, but everybody calls me that.
It's funny.
So
Pete, don't be getting jealous of this kid.
Jealous of Don,
All
jealous of
right.
Handsome.
Jealous of Handsome for sure.
We'd love to show you a good time. I'm surprised Lane didn't offer.
I don't think Mr. Price and I have the same taste in this area.
See, he
blew it.
I like parties.
I feel like hanging out with Roger would be a great time. Honestly.
Do you think you could lift me? That's what I thought.
So they are this sorority party.
Oh my god.
Even that was like a backhanded
I know.
compliment.
I think it's in my room.
This episode's gonna end with Pete getting to Bowflex.
This might be an episode where Don is the one person who's like, I'm not here for this.
I hope so.
Yeah. But now that he's sitting alone, like,
Yeah. All bets are off.
I mean, we've seen throughout the run of the show that women just kind of throw themselves at him no matter what he
They
does.
really do, yeah.
Like the flight out to California.
That one was crazy, yeah.
Yeah. Tell him he's powerful like Don
Yeah.
Draper. That's all you need to say.
Okay.
Yeah. I like the casual okay there.
Winner.
All right. Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Is this a brothel?
No, I think they're just. Oh, it might be a brothel. Oh, yeah. I think
think so.
you're
Okay,
right. I'm
whatever.
sorry.
I take it back. I don't want to hang out with Roger.
Right.
I want to go to a brothel.
Well, they're like your sorority sisters. I'm like, are they in a sorority?
That's what I thought
party?
at first, yeah.
Jessica, I've got his drinks.
So that was nice.
Yeah. Good business owner.
Yeah.
Before Yelp reviews.
And I got it.
Unless you're going to give me a pen that says Jaguar on it, you should be reaching for your house keys.
Good night.
See, yeah, these guys knew what they were doing.
friends.
Yeah. Way more than Lane did.
Yeah.
Lane was, Lane's a great guy and he's a smart guy,
He's
but he's
just-
out of his element.
It's not his expertise.
Right. They both look miserable.
They do.
I
don't
love this
they?
shot.
It's
Yeah.
a fantastic shot.
Yeah.
I would buy that poster.
Yeah. Yeah.
So why do I feel like I'm riding with a nun?
I didn't say anything.
I mean, you of all people.
See, he's trying to be Don, and Don's not in the same place.
Pump
Yeah.
the brakes there, Pete.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to tell you, because I am who I am, and I've been where I've been, that you don't get another chance at what you have.
Time round.
Yeah. And if I met her first, I would have known not to throw it away.
Wow. Wow. I didn't expect that from him.
No, that was actually
I didn't expect Don to be that. in
Don.
that
Don was
mindset.
like, don't make the mistakes I did, you idiots.
Yeah.
I never thought that would come out of Don's mouth.
Never. And we haven't seen him cheat yet.
No, not
this
Not of Megan. Yeah. I still don't know if he can fight it.
He can try.
But, I mean,
He,
I was-
he didn't do anything at the brothel.
he was at a brothel and didn't do anything wrong.
Because your attentions are divided. I like to think we offer you more than security here.
Is he being reprimanded for this?
I think his job's being threatened here.
Why? Why is he being?
I don't know, because he needs to focus on being
As
a
a fellow
cowman, I guess.
unappreciated author and a friend,
Appreciated often.
Mrs. Harris, please excuse us. Immediately.
Did the guy get in trouble because of the evening out?
I bet.
Your activities last night have cost us this account.
What?
why would he say anything?
Because he was caught with chewing gum on his... How dare you laugh at this?
Oh man.
What is he just put it there and forget about it?
In fact, as far as I can tell, our need for you disappeared the day after you fired us.
Mr. Campbell.
Yeah.
That'll be enough of that.
Is he threatening him?
Oh man.
Mr. Campbell, you and I are going to address that insult.
Are you kidding me?
No, you're right. As soon as I raise my hands, I warn you, it shall be too
Somebody
late to
stop
run.
this.
Is it bad that I kind of want to see it? I mean, on TV, not in real life.
I think Pete's about to get beat up.
I think so.
I don't,
not gonna
I
help
don't,
security.
no.
Or do you want me to knock them out?
I don't feel like Pete's ever been in a fight
You're,
before.
you're all interested too. They're like, wow.
Yeah.
I know cooler heads should prevail, but am I the only one who wants to see this?
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
This is nuts.
Different times, man. Different times.
I think Pete's about to get beaten down. I think the idea of Pete not being a man is about to culminate here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong.
This is me. Oh.
Oh, never mind.
You want some more? Mr. Toad?
Toad.
Well, actually, Pete's holding his own pretty well here. But not anymore. Yeah.
Consider that my last piece of advice.
Even hit with a one-liner. Nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Pete's insecure as heck.
Yeah. And those guys to see it happen too made it so
Yeah.
much worse for him.
I mean, he was a little deserving of that, but at the same time,
It's interesting to see Don kind of.
I had Lane.
Yeah, I did too. See Don kind of getting together with Pete spiraling a little.
he is spiraling a lot.
Yeah. It's a good look from Peggy there.
Those knuckles.
Yeah.
What do I do here? I mean, truly.
He looks just like his dad.
He does, doesn't he?
I know.
That's a good way to be.
No!
No!
That was not what that was! I hate this. I hate this moment. I hate this moment a lot.
Joan is a little.
Poor Joan. That's not what she was doing.
Nope. You might have
Apologize.
You had a great friendship,
Yeah.
and that's tanked.
She just said you're not like the other guys, and then you just were immediately after that.
She's very gracious. She is so gracious.
Yeah.
I just seem to find no end to my humiliation today.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
About what? Everyone in this office has wanted to do that to Pete Campbell.
Her discretion is top notch, but still, that's awful.
She comes from a place of a lot of experience, I'm
Yeah.
sure. Metaphor for your whole life right now, Pete, just happened in that office.
Well, this whole episode is kind of like about this weird masculinity, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it is about weird masculinity. Pete does not feel like a man. And nothing that happened in this episode helped that.
No.
The Man with the Miniature Orchestra by Dave Algonquin.
You were right. The in the box. Yep.
Beethoven's Ninth Symphony that still made Coe cry.
I'm glad he's still writing.
Me too.
You're in public.
Yeah.
Drip.
Lost it. Brilliant.
That was so good.
Brilliant. And oh my god. Okay. So now you have to listen to two guys who talk about masculinity.
Right.
But in all seriousness, no, I think this was, for a show that is like about quote unquote macho guys, they don't really address
Right.
it that often. It's more, it is nuanced, but it's also like more about the actions. This seemed to be very overt.
Right.
Down to the fact that we had that shot of Hanson, whatever.
Right.
The camera lingered on
Right.
his arms, and Pete's infatuation and jealousy of him.
Jealousy, right.
And really Pete's infatuation to be this macho guy, when in reality he's really, you don't have to be a macho guy to be a man. That's the point of the episode, right?
Right. Well, yeah. The idea is that it's a time period issue.
It is.
This was a period in American history where men were a very specific thing.
This issue
and
still
Pete's not
happens
that.
today, though.
Right. Of course.
Yeah.
I know guys still who
It's insecurity.
Yeah. 100%. Who can't handle the fact if their wife makes more money than them.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I'm like, why does that bother you? Because I'm a man. I'm supposed to be making more. Says who?
You go to any gym ever, and you see these huge people that are just
Of course.
they're broken on the inside, and
My car breaks down. Guess what I don't do?
fix it.
Try to fix the car.
Yeah.
Because there are people who know more than me about how to do that.
On the flip side of being about masculinity and macho-ness, it's also kind of about expertise, right?
Sure. Absolutely.
And really about staying in your lane and doing what you know and being good at what you're good at doing.
Well, yeah. Well, Lane and Pete are two sides of the same coin in this
Exactly.
one.
Yep.
Because Lane thought being a man at the office was, I can land an account all on my own.
Yep.
I can do this, and he couldn't. And and when he lost it was when he was challenged with the idea of, you're kind of useless here.
Yeah.
Right, and that's when he needed to get his manhood back.
Yep.
And Pete kind of felt the same way. Like these two idiots needed to assert themselves as men by getting in a fist fight.
Duking it out, yeah.
Yeah, at work in an office, right? But with the other three partners standing there wondering what was going on.
Yeah.
But also too fascinated to stop it, which I kind of understand.
I understand that too.
Right. But yeah, this idea that both of them don't feel like they're real men.
Well, the thing is that Pete kind of had this facade going on, whereas Lane, he wasn't really like faking anything, but at the same time, he was trying something new, but he was resisting help, right?
All right.
And I mean, both of them really backfired big time.
Yeah, and that's why at the end, after the fight, him kissing Joan was still more of that. Like, I can be a man this way, but not this way. I can be a man this way, but not this way.
Yeah.
I know. I'll kiss the hot secretary in the office.
That was his big mistake.
Right. Oh, well, among many of them, but yeah, that was a huge mistake. You're trying to be some type. It's like they're all trying to be this thing that Don has built his image into being, and they're falling flat on their faces. And even Don is saying that isn't real.
It's not real.
Yeah, it's
not
a
real.
facade. Yeah,
but the interesting thing about the Lane situation is that like he didn't blow it obviously by turning it over to Roger and everybody else. That really helped it.
Right.
But at the same time, it had the same ending.
Right.
They lost the account.
I don't know if they did.
You don't think so?
I didn't hear anything in that conversation about losing the account. I just heard that the guy got caught cheating on his wife.
I think. Well, that's what he was like. It was my account.
Right.
It's ruined. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
it could be the business still could.
The business could still be fine.
Unless his wife's like, you're not doing business.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Unless there was an actual, because we didn't hear the conversation on the phone. But I feel like until you hear from that guy about the work, I don't necessarily think that's over. Because he did tell him, he was like,
it was his idea.
He's like, we got the account. Now I just want to see what it's like hanging out with you guys. Meaning, take me out and let me have a good time.
As crude as it was, the chewing gum bit,
that was pretty funny.
Hilarious. Everybody else's reaction to
the
it.
fact that they all laughed, yeah,
it was really funny. She just forget she left it there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the episode started off. I don't want to say slow because I like that the show is slow and it's very...
the deliberate pacing works great for the show.
Exactly.
For sure.
The last, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes of the episode though, really, really grabbed us. Really, really hooked us in. And not even because of the fist fight, just because of like all the themes coming out. But I have to say, hats off to Don though for really showing some restraint.
Yeah, it's interesting that I did not expect, at least at this stage of the show, for him to be able to have that kind of perspective to tell Pete, like, hey, man, you've got a great wife at home who loves you. You're really blowing it, and you shouldn't. To hear advice like that come from Dawn, right, yeah. Well, you didn't say anything to Roger. Yeah, Roger's miserable. You're not supposed to be. You have a good life. Roger doesn't. That's why, right? That's why Roger can go do stupid things, because all Roger's going to blow up is his already miserable life.
Yeah.
You have a chance here to be happy. That is a level of sophistication and wisdom from Dawn that I didn't expect to see. And Pete, and by the end of the episode, Pete still wasn't getting it.
It's just the irony of trying to be masculine and end up being completely emasculated by the end of it.
Well, yeah. Well, you get at the end we have both Pete and Lane saying, like, Lane saying, "What do I even do here? You could do my job. I'm useless." And at the end, Pete saying, "I have nothing." You're both wrong.
Yeah.
You just don't have what you think you should have. You're not who you think you should be. But the idea that Pete's saying, "I have nothing," I'm like, you are a young, rich guy with a beautiful, loving wife and a child at home.
Sure.
You have nothing?
These things aren't Don's fault, but it's like,
right.
You get where they're coming from because you're like, I work in the office with the greatest guy ever. He's the coolest dude ever. Don's great at everything. You know what I mean? And they see that, and like that's kind of like the standard they hold themselves to, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's not easy being in somebody else's shadow. There's always going to be a bigger fish.
Right.
You know what I mean? That applies to anything. And
yeah, well, Pete has tried to be Dawn
since
season 1. He's tried to be Dawn,
and having him fix the sink in his own household, and
right,
it's a lot coming out.
Yeah, Pete got reminded several times this episode that he's not Dawn.
Exactly. Don wouldn't do this either. I don't think Don would have a fist fight in the office.
No. Well, I
guess he did have a fight in the house with Duck, but
nobody
that
was like that. No one was there, and they were both drunk and stupid, right? Yeah. But this like how dare you challenge my manhood fight was just idiotic between the two of them.
Yeah. And Pete was out of line for sure.
Yeah. I feel like they both were. I feel like they
Lane was definitely on
yeah.
point,
I
too,
think Lane yelling at them and calling. He said some pretty harsh things to Pete there about the way that night went.
I understand him being upset about the account situation. I
Right.
get that. I mean, that's like, what'd you guys do? You know what I mean? Like that's. But also at the same time, it was the guy from Jaguar's idea.
It was.
It's kind of out of their hands at that point. Anything else you want to touch upon in the episode? I mean, the Ken storyline was pretty great. I like that he's a very talented guy. I like that he's got a lot of big ideas.
I feel like Ken is the one person who knows who he is, you know, of all these guys right now. You're going to quit writing and focus on your job because you need your job. Yeah, I need my job, but I know who I am.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I'm going to tell all of you that I'm done, and then I'm going to go home and do what I want to do because I know who I am. I'm going to keep writing. And by the way, that snippet we've got, that was a great story. That was like really compelling.
It was a great idea for a story. Tiny Orchestra. I like that.
It's kind of like we've got these writers on the show that like just to let you guys know we can write anything, including the opening to a really good short story.
It's like the '60s. Like so many big ideas came out of the '60s, like in sci-fi. Like today, you watch a sci-fi movie and you're like, "This is so stupid."
Oh yeah, like Philip K. Dick and Ray Bradbury.
All the allegories back then. It's like it's kind of. I don't want to say every idea is gone because that's it's
not true.
It's not true, but at the same time, a lot of cool ideas came out of that.
Absolutely.
Anyways.
No, this was a great episode. I think it sets up some interesting things moving forward with all of the men in the office.
Yeah.
I really kind of feel bad for Joan because, like I said, I think she handled that the way she did because this isn't the first freaking time that's happened to Joan for sure.
She's a good friend to Lane, and
way more gracious stupid.
Way more gracious than he deserved her to be.
I really love the writing where she was like, "You're better than these guys,
yeah,
because you're not this pig."
Yeah,
and then what does he do? Goes right into that. I'm a pig too.
Yeah, truly.
Yeah. Hey, well, it's fun to watch insecurities manifest themselves into really bad decisions.
It kind of makes you think about yourself. You're like, don't do this.
There's a number of dumb things, right? Yeah, that we can identify there. All right, we'll catch you in the next one, guys.
See ya.